Well, this is the best time of the year. We're going to get to the NCAA tournament in a moment, but obviously what Luka did last night, as you just saw, was remarkable. Good morning, everybody. Shay Cornett here.
Red. What's
good.
up? What's up, Wendy? You know what? Hey, Wendy, that outfit. I approve that message. What's going on?
Wendy's dressing for the cabinet.
No casual Friday on First Take. I'm going to tell you that right now, Jay.
That's right. He knows the rules around here. He's been around a minute. How about Luka Doncic? Let's go to him and what he did last night for the Lakers. My goodness, dropped 60 points last night in Miami, the most by an opposing player ever, as the Lakers beat the Heat 134-126. Luka had dropped 40 points the night prior against the Rockets. Then he heard those MVP chants at the free throw line late in the game from the Miami crowd. And so here's the head coach, J.J. Redick, after Luka combined for 100 points on back-to-back nights for the Lakers.
He's to the MVP point, like we would not be anywhere near in the position we're in without him having the season that he's having. He's just, and particularly of late, he's dominating right now.
He has some tough shots out there. Like it is what it is. I know what it's like to be in that mode. As people can see, it's not easy to get 80. But he made some tough shots. And you tip your hat off and you keep it pushing.
Okay, Bam, with the humble brag in there as well. The question, though, goes back to Luka. Should Luka now get MVP consideration? Stephen A., what do you think?
I don't think we have a choice. I think this dude is electrifying. He's a scoring sensation. He's a superstar in this league. And to be quite honest with you, I know a few people within the Lakers organization, obviously many people. I spoke to a couple of them last night, and they was talking about, hey, Stephen A., what about the MVP consideration? We want to know your thoughts. And I'm ashamed that I hadn't brought up Luka for league MVP consideration sooner than this morning. That ends now. That gets corrected right now. Luka Doncic has been sensational. The Los Angeles Lakers have been incredibly impressive on an 8-game winning streak. He scored over 30 in each one of those games. He scored 100 over the last 2 games. I mean, I'm looking at the breakdown in terms of what he shot. He shot 43% in the first quarter, 57% in the second quarter, 60% in the third quarter, and of his 20 points, it was on 83% shooting in the fourth quarter. The brother is just doing his thing. And when we look at a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who has been a model of consistency and deserves all the credit in the world, and he deserves MVP consideration. Of course, we saw Jaylen Brown and what he was doing without the services of Jason Tatum. So how could you ignore him? You got to give him his props. Wembanyama announced that he was coming for both awards, Defensive Player of the Year, which he will get, and obviously he warrants consideration for league MVP with San Antonio having the year that they're having, with them being a top 2 seed in the Western Conference. But how do you explain the Los Angeles Lakers? I gave praise yesterday to LeBron James because, damn it, he deserves it. And we're not going to be shy about that. But who deserves it more than Luka right now with what Luka is doing? He's leading the league in scoring. The Los Angeles Lakers are winning as a top 3 seed in the Western Conference, okay? They're winning basketball games. He's leading the way. And he has an individual in LeBron James who is on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, still playing like an all-star caliber player. And he has to be deferential because Luka is that great. He's that unstoppable. At some point in time, you just got to announce it. And right now, we have to announce right here on First Take that Luka Doncic, the individual that the Dallas Mavericks traded away for Anthony Davis, okay, another player, Christie, and a pick, that same Luka Doncic in a Los Angeles Laker uniform is a top candidate for league MVP honors. I'm announcing it right here this morning.
Wendy, do you agree with Stephen A.?
Okay. Yes, but I don't want to make it about that. Because I actually have to maintain my composure. I have to rely on my experience here, Shay, and not overreact to something in March. The joy that I took out of watching this Lakers team this week, I can't tell you how much I loved watching them compete the last 3 games, and Luka especially. Luka's way he approached this game was just absolutely awe-inspiring. And, I gave the Lakers every excuse in the book to just let this game go. They didn't land until 4 a.m., didn't get to the hotel till 5 a.m. It's a preposterous back-to-back because not only is it west to east, so you lose the hour, but because it was the second game on national television, it started at 8:30. And they put them all questionable on the injury report. They satisfied the rules, and Austin, Luka, and LeBron could have just punted on the game. They had earned the right to punt on the game, but they were like, no, we're not doing that. We're playing too well right now. And then they got down by 15 points in the first half of this game. And I would have not blamed J.J. Redick if he said, no, it's not happening. I'm pulling the plug. Luka and LeBron and Reeves and the rest of that team, Marcus Smart, were like, no, we are going to compete to win this game. What a culture performance from the Lakers. This is a team that 6 weeks ago I thought didn't really have any defensive culture. And now I'm watching them sit down and guard, and Luka had 5 steals in this game. He's made as many defensive plays in the last 3 weeks as I've seen the last 3 years out of him. And then to watch his performance offensively in this game, to quote Stephen A., my God, some of the shots that he made in this game were absolutely incredible. And to watch LeBron James, the best thing I can say about the Lakers right now, LeBron believes. And this is a nuanced thing, but if you watch LeBron over the decades, there's times when you get to a point in the season where you know he doesn't believe in his team. And you can't see it in stats, you just know it when you see it. Well, I know it when I see it. LeBron believes in this team. And I don't know where they're going to go because San Antonio and Oklahoma City are awesome. And they're awesome defensively. And frankly, that's why I still got Shea at number 1, Stephen A, and MVP, because Shea plays both ends and his consistency is unbelievable. Victor Wembanyama was amazing last night. I mean, they play at both ends. And we're talking about 2 of the top defensive teams. But Luka Doncic's demeanor, he hasn't had a technical Shea in 8 games. He was averaging 1 every 3. He's put that aside right now. He's playing defense. He's playing with energy. This was a historic game. You had one guy get 60 and the other guy get a triple-double with LeBron, hit 15 rebounds. What a joy to watch the Lakers play last night.
LeBron's triple-double flew under the radar. Go ahead, Stephen A.
Couple of things. Number one, first of all, I did tell you it wasn't a bad thing that they landed in Miami at 4 in the morning. I told you that yesterday. I told you that.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And I also told you LeBron was going to play. You was talking about resting. I said he ain't resting. He ain't resting South Beach. Trust me, he going to play in this game.
You were
Trust
right.
me,
I'll give it to you.
And sure enough, he played, right? So we got Luka Doncic over these last 8 games. Here he is, Shay, 40.9 points on 50% shooting from the field, 42% shooting from three-point range, with 8.9 rebounds per game, 7.4 assists, 2.4 steals. The Lakers outscoring opponents by 10 points. Let me throw this stat out to y'all because it's very important. These are the Lakers. Think about. I want you to just close your eyes and pause for a second, Shay and Wendy, and understand we are talking about the Lakers, where Kareem and Magic and Worthy and Kobe and Shaq, to the Jamal Wilkes, the Michael Thompsons, the Michael Coopers, the Byron Scotts, the Norm Nixons of the world. These are the Lakers. George Mikan, for crying out loud. These are the Lakers we're talking about here. With Luka's 40.9 points and 7.4 assists per game in this 8-game winning streak, no other Laker has done that, ever matched that in an 8-game span in a single season in franchise history. The Lakers. This dude is doing stuff that no other Laker has ever done, where every statistical thing that matters in basketball annals, there's a Laker associated with something. And this dude right here is doing stuff no other Laker has ever done. And so that's where we are. Not to mention the fact that the Lakers are 21-6 in clutch time wins. Let's not forget that. And this is a team that, by the way, has struggled to shoot from three-point range. Not anymore. 3rd in the NBA in shooting threes since the trading deadline at 38.5% clip. Their issue is 2 things: Consistency from their big man, DeAndre Ayton. Somebody got to touch that brother's pulse. Yeah, I would suggest going to the Bahamas, doing some research, and finding somebody, whether it's family, friends, or whatever, somebody that can get something extra out of that brother from the Bahamas. You understand what I'm saying? Touch him the right way and have an effect on him, right? Something, right? Just so he could be consistent, because DeAndre Ayton is not a scrub. He can play. You just need consistency from him. The other thing is their bench, because they have the second worst bench production in the league behind the Houston Rockets. It's the Rockets that are the worst, and then it's the Los Angeles Lakers. But when you're talking about who they bring, their top 5, top 6, top 7, these brothers, what they're doing right now, the Lakers are making things very, very interesting, and J.J. Redick and his coaching staff deserve a boatload of credit for it, because the way in which they're playing, the way you got Luka playing on the defensive side of the ball, he's trying. And like you said, Wendy, no techs over the last 8 games. You got to give the coaching staff credit where credit is due. Everything is clicking for the Los Angeles Lakers right now, and we can't summarily dismiss anything associated with them looking the way that they're looking right now.
I just want to push back a little bit, Stephen A. I agree with the way they're playing, and yes, the last 3 weeks defensively, Luka is playing better. But prior to that, the techs were an issue, the defense were an issue. So how could we crown him the MVP when he hasn't been a good, willing defender on the defensive side of the ball up until the last 3 weeks? Like, has there ever been an MVP?
I'm not crowning him. What I'm saying is that he's a part of the conversation. When you're talking about Shea, you're talking about Jaylen Brown, you're talking about Wembanyama, you no longer are allowed to have an MVP conversation without including Luka.